videoing. See you later, mate.
Sorry, I swore.
And there they go, off on their adventures into parts unknown. Yeah, we'll meet up with them soon. See you later, guys. So we're just driving through the industrial side of Hamburg, just come over near the ports there, some massive container ships being unloaded and loaded up, and obviously a lot of container lorries here on the road here, but we're driving into the centre of Hamburg. Don't normally like doing a lot of these big city park-ups, but I think I've found just a tiny little motorhome car park in the centre of Hamburg. Obviously we'll have to pay for it, it might be quite small, but there are some services there. So hopefully we can empty the toilet and grey waste, will be good. Refresh that before we head back out into the countryside. But we're just going to do a day stop in Hamburg. Just going to half an hour walk hopefully into the centre, have a little bit of a look around, and then later on today come back out and find a little wild camping spot somewhere a bit more scenic. So we pulled into a motorhome air right in the middle of Hamburg. You can see behind me there's quite a few motorhomes already parked in here. The guy at reception was really nice, he spoke very good English, and to use the services here, so I've just got the camper van just on the service point here, so to use the services it was only €5, empty all the tanks, fill up with fresh water, and then to park here for the day was €10, so €15 in total. And for city centre parking in a secure compound like that, I don't think that's too bad really. So yeah, we're going to take full advantage of this park anyway, we like you said, and then it's a half an hour walk into Hamburg. So I've driven over a waste grate to empty the grey water. There's a reel on the wall there for fresh water, and then just going to empty the toilet cassette into that sluice there in the corner. Again, separate water supply just to rinse out your toilet tank. So there we go, vans all parked behind us in a secure compound here in the middle of Hamburg. There's a manned reception at the entrance to the site, so I feel a bit more happy about it being parked here while we venture into the city. And I found this motorhome park up by just googling the German for motorhome parking and then copying and pasting that into Google Maps, and then all of these little locations popped up on Google Maps, and we just chose one which is about half an hour walk from where we're going to go. So we're in a little cafe just by the canal here in the centre of Hamburg. Just stopped for a bit of lunch, and it's the very first opportunity I've ever spoke any German, so tried in our best to order us some lunch. Zwei Bratwurst mit Pommes frites bitte. So let's see what turns up. Mind you, my only downfall was the waiter did ask me something back in German. I didn't have a clue what he was saying, unfortunately, so we'll see what turns up. So the good thing about having the Neos Smartcam in the van is I get a notification if anything movement wise is detected. I can click on that notification, the app opens up, and then it will have recorded what it's seen. And I think if I just play that back, you can see it's seen a van moving outside the window there. So how did we do, babe? Did we do alright?
I think so.
Oh, you've got a big dollop of mustard there.
Yeah.
Maybe that was what he was asking us.
Probably. It's
Mayo
fine.
or mustard, so
It was great.
mustard.
It's fine.
Cappuccino. Ah, and Pilsner.
Yeah.
It's lovely. First German sausage.
Yeah.
So obviously here by the canal you've got the London Dungeon franchise, which is in most major cities, but as well as that, up there translate is the Model Wonderland, and that's what we've come to see. It's one of the largest in the world. So yeah, let's go. Hopefully they'll let us video inside and I'll show you some of the sights in there. The Model Wonderland is a place that would appeal to anybody of all ages. It's amazing the detail that they've put into these models, and the place is absolutely massive. So I highly recommend that you make a visit there if you're in Hamburg. We'll leave the city of Hamburg and make a short trip of about an hour northeast to the town of Lubeck. Hello guys, today we're in Lubeck, North Germany. It's a city that's been inspired by Gothic architecture. You can see behind me these twin towers here were the old original city gates. The old city was bounded by the river, and these gates were the main entrance to the old city. It was rebuilt after the Second World War in this red brick, and it also inspired a lot of the churches that you can see in the distance behind me as well. And this city's got loads of really tall spires and loads of tall churches, so yeah, very interesting part of German history. Lovely to come and see this sort of thing on our trip and experience these places. Don't really get an idea of scale on the camera, but these are absolutely massive, and they do look as though they're leaning over quite a bit as well. Don't look very straight. This is St Mary's Church, one of the main examples of Gothic architecture, red brick built church, built around 1260. It was completely destroyed during the Second World War, and then the restoration and rebuild was done in about 1959. So just behind me there you can see the two spires of St Mary's Church, and then this really impressive building here on my left is the Town Hall building. I'll give you some close-ups of the architecture there. Some really ornate carvings on this building. Right, babe?
Yes, very good. Had a nice little walk around the old town.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? One thing Germany's not short of, which is to my liking, is sausage. Just had a lovely smoked sausage actually, very nice indeed. Now we're going to take a wander down to the river. I think there's a load of little cafes down there so we can have a nice cup of coffee overlooking the river. One thing I do like to do when we come to any new country is to seek out some of the sites to have a look at and to immerse ourselves in some of the culture, tastes, sights and sounds, try some of the food, research some of the history, have a look at some really interesting buildings and museums, and just get a feel for the place, you know, rather than just driving from Parkup to Parkup and not really seeing much. We like to experience what it's all about. Right, we're down by the river. There's a few cafes just behind me here and another couple further down there, so we're going to take a wander down and see if we can find somewhere nice to sit. One good thing about having the Neos Smartcam is we're sitting there having a coffee. I've just got a ping on my phone. There's a notification. Click on that. And then it opens up the Neos app. And then the camera would have seen something happening. Let me just see if I can play that. Just rewind that. Oh yeah, there was a car going in front of the van. I know it's only a car and it's a false reading, but there you go. At least if anybody's snooping around the van, I'm going to get a notification, even when we're out and about. One thing we have noticed though, even though we're free to travel, there's no restrictions across the borders, obviously you've got to be sensible, wear masks, and everywhere we go, restaurants and so forth, they're asking for proof of vaccination and things like that, which is absolutely fine. But it's not holding us back from doing anything, and it's not stopping us from travelling. But in all the airs and car parks that we've been to so far the last week, in Germany especially, there's no foreign tourists. I think we've seen one Austrian van, and today I think we saw one Swiss van, but other than that they're just full of local German tourists and local German motorhomes. The car parks are full, the locals are out and about in force. Normally I guess they would be going abroad to other countries, so they're doing what most other people are doing and staying at home in their own country. But so yeah, we're sort of one of the very, very few people that have ventured back out, although there really isn't any reason why you can't at the moment, as long as you abide by all the rules and you're sensible. Yeah, why not? Hopefully you can pick this up, guys, without too much wind, because it is a bit breezy here. As you can see, we're on the beach in Germany. Really? Yeah, we are. We're on the north coast. I think this is the bottom end of the Baltic Sea, and we're still in the province of Lubeck, and we found a nice little car park just right near the beach here. I'll put a map up to show you our location. There's a little beach bar here. Let me spin you around and I'll give you a little bit of a tour. Yeah, it's not exactly sunbathing weather, but we're making the most of it anyway. Yeah, not bad. From the port of Lubeck, you can catch a ferry to Copenhagen, Stockholm in Sweden, Helsinki in Finland, and even as far as St. Petersburg. So this is our camping spot. We found it on Park for Night. We used the surrounded by nature symbol, the little tree symbol. I like using that one because it gets you out in the wild. There's no facilities, it's not a campsite, it's just a sandy gravel car park in the middle of the forest, right in the middle of nowhere. And I think, as you can hear, nothing. Really nice and quiet. There's a little road, access road, which if I spin round here, you can just see the access to the car park just there. One or two cars go past there, but minimal really. And the rest of it is just surrounded by trees and woods. There's a path leading off just there. There's a trail through the forest. Loads of mushrooms and things like that. Dog walkers come down here, park in the car park and take their dogs for a walk through the forest. And you occasionally see a few people foraging for mushrooms and things like that. But other than that, really peaceful. It's in a bit of a clearing, so you do get a little bit of daylight. It's quite overcast today, so we're not getting much solar. But as an overnight park up in a quiet spot, this is absolutely ideal. So we're in this lovely wild camping spot in the middle of the forest, surrounded by nature, totally off grid, no services here, only our own van and what we've got in here. And Lou's managed to rustle us up absolutely superb chicken curry. Look at that, that looks epic, doesn't it? Oh, go on, dish it up, babe.
Hungry.
Oh yeah, that looks lovely. So the beauty of having the van here is you can do anything you like. We don't need a hookup, or we don't need power, we don't need water, we've got it all on board. Alright, let's get stuck into it.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
So we found a lovely little spot. This is what they call a homestay. This is a farm actually, and there's a little paddock here which I guess was originally for horses. Now it's just been mown grass. It's a little bit undulating, but we found ourselves an even spot for the old van to stand on. They have got services here, it's electric, and just behind me, little porter cabin over there is toilets and a shower, which is all very nice inside. So there's facilities here, and it's very reasonable. I think it's €10 a night to stay here with all the services, so that's not too bad at all. I think you might pay a little bit extra for the showers, but it'll only be €2 or €3, which is normal. And then just behind me there is the farmhouse, and they've got chickens I can see in the distance, and it did say on the review that they're happy to sell you some fresh eggs, which will be lovely for breakfast in the morning. But yeah, all around here literally is just fields as far as you can see, in the middle of nowhere. I can't see civilization for quite some distance, so at night time I imagine it's going to be really quiet and peaceful here, which is nice. And again, we're the only ones here. It's obviously you know, one of the things either late in the season, which I don't think is that late because it's September, or just the fact of the current situation and people are a bit reluctant to travel. But yeah, I don't see any problem with this at all. This is lovely. We're going to meet the owners at 4 o'clock. There's a notice on the paddock gate that says please open the gate and help yourself to a spot, and then at 4 o'clock this afternoon the owners will be about. We'll have a chat with them and obviously make sure they've got their money for a couple of days stay. But yeah, going to enjoy it, enjoy this peaceful resting spot. A lot of these homestay park-ups or on the farm park-ups where they're working farms, we've often found, especially in France now on the vineyards that we've stayed on, that you're really well provided for. The services here are really good and at a very reasonable price as well, much better than, you know, a main campsite would be. And often the facilities that you're given are really clean and tidy as well, which is excellent. I'll just show you actually in this little porter cabin here where the toilet block is, just to give you an example of the facilities that are provided here. So just as we step inside, there's individual toilets, ladies and gents, and then there's an open changing and shower room, which is obviously communal, but there is a lock on the door. Hand basin, really decent sized mirror, and then just round the corner here is obviously the shower. Hot and cold supply with a mixer, so as you imagine you get a really decent shower. All lovely and clean and really well presented. And then round the back of the porter cabin here you've got a water supply and that hose there, and then further round there's a waste bin, recycling bottles, and then this brown pipe sticking up through the floor here is the chemical toilet waste facility there. And again there's another hose just there that you can rinse your cassette. So everything you really need, you know, to do water and services on your van, waste, showers, toilets, and for a fraction of the cost of a campsite, and all of these beautiful surroundings. Lovely paddock, fields as far as you can see, and finally some sunshine has appeared. Happy days. We've always found in our experience that these farm stops and homestays are some of the best parking spots we've had. The facilities are the best, the toilets and showers are really super clean, the hosts are always really friendly and welcoming, and we've had some fantastic stays on these, so it ranks as probably one of our best, you know, in terms of choice. We always go for these in preference to normal camping sites or airs if we can.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my